Hi, David with Sugar House Woolworks here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about pain while spinning. So when we're looking at things like pain while spinning, we have to examine the main two causes for why that happens. The first is our health. If we have rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, carpal tunnel, all of these things can give us pain while we're spinning, and we need to see our doctor about things that we can do to be able to alleviate those problems so that we can have a more pleasurable spinning experience. Now, the second thing that happens is the way that we spin. Now, we're going to examine really quick how we draft on a drop spindle. And the reason we do that is because the way that we draft on a drop spindle is the most natural feeling way to spin, causes the least amount of pain for most people. So we need to examine why it is that when we go from a drop spindle to a wheel that we fundamentally change the way that we're drafting. So we're talking about drafting in relation to how it is different from a spindle to a wheel. We just need to set it up so that the spindle mimics the orientation of the orifice. So notice how my hand is now orientated. Okay, most people do not spin with their pinky pointed towards, closest to and pointed towards the orifice here. Most people, when they're spinning on a wheel, will draft like this. Okay, so it's a beautiful little spindle there. So this is the way that I like to draft, and this is the way that my teacher Judy Gunn taught me. Judy is awesome for anyone who's ever met her. She's one of the best spinning teachers I know. And she taught me because I was drafting like this because this is how I saw everyone else doing it. And my hand was hurting and I couldn't figure out why it was hurting. And Judy mentioned, well, it's probably because of the way you're drafting, because you're drafting the way she put it incorrectly. Now, if you draft this way and it works for you and you don't have any pain, great. As long as it produces the urine you want, keep doing it. I can't spin that way. I have to spin with my hand orientated like this, with my pinky closest to the orifice, as if I was drop spinning. And you'll find that if you do this, and if you have pain in your hands and you do this, that your spinning will be significantly less painful. So I used to, when I drafted this way, I'd get pain here on my hands, particularly right here on my thumb, where my thumb meets the rest of my hand, and then I'd get some fatigue here in my index finger. So if you have issues with this type of a problem, with pain in your hands, flip your hand over, draft like you're at the drop spindle, and see if that helps. If you've liked the spindle that was featured in this video, head on over to greensleevespindles.com and check out the spindles there. Elizabeth Daly, who runs and turns all the spindles there, can hook you up with some of the most beautiful drop spindles you've ever worked with. Now, if you could also head on over to my Etsy page at etsy.com/shop/sugarhousewoolworks and check out my work and see if there's anything there that strikes your fancy, that would also be appreciated.